Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. They won't see it coming, because the real ones, the ones who are dangerous, they don't speak of their plans. They don't announce their next move. They work in silence, while the world is distracted by its own noise. You've been told to share your goals, to post your ambitions, to shout your dreams into the world so others can hold you accountable. But here's the truth. No one dares to say out loud. Every time you speak of your next move before it's ready, you bleed power. You fracture momentum. You let others step into a space that was meant for you to grow in solitude. Silence is not the absence of power. It is the source of it. Edison didn't go live on a rooftop to announce the light bulb. He failed. Alone. Thousands of times. In a lab so quiet you could hear every scratch of graphite and strike of wire. And then he lit the world. Carnegie didn't post his ambition for steel dominance. He moved in whispers, built in shadows. While others talked, he acquired, learned, negotiated. He became so powerful that presidents bent their knees to the wealth he constructed in silence. Because here is the law no one teaches you in school. The louder the noise, the weaker the signal. The more you talk, the less you do. The more you post, the less you build. Success isn't about letting the world know you're coming. It's about arriving so loud through your results that no introduction is needed. You want to be unstoppable? Then become untraceable. Disappear into your obsession. Vanish into your purpose. And re-emerge only when your work speaks louder than your words ever could. Let them talk. Let them flaunt. Let them seek applause for goals they haven't even begun. While they crave attention, you must crave evolution. While they chase likes, you must chase legacy. This path isn't for the weak. It isn't for the ones who need validation every 5 steps. It's for the few, the rare, the silent builders of destiny. Those who understand that greatness is not declared, it is demonstrated. Now listen closely. If you're going to rise, you must first fall in love with being unknown, invisible, uncelebrated. You must become addicted to the dark, because the dark is where power is forged. Lions don't roar in the hunt. They move quietly, low to the ground, focused, calculated. Only when the prey is in their grip do they unleash the roar that echoes through the wild. And you must become the lion. Move like shadow, strike like thunder, because what you're building now is not just a goal, it's a kingdom. And kingdoms are not built with tweets and updates. They are built with blood, with sweat, with time, with discipline. Now let's talk about that discipline. Because silence is not passive. It's active resistance. It's choosing not to tell the world you woke up at 4 a.m. because you're too busy winning the morning. It's choosing not to share the struggle because you understand that struggle is sacred, that your pain, your doubt, your grind, they are not for display. They are weapons, not trophies. Discipline is deciding to show up when no one is clapping, to build the body when no one notices, to learn the craft when no one cares, to master the skill when no one is watching. And then, when the moment arrives, when your time finally meets your preparation, you explode onto the stage of life like a supernova. Not because you talked about it, but because you became it. Let them underestimate you. Let them forget your name. Let them laugh, scroll past, and doubt. Because every second they spend watching someone louder is a second you gain. Another inch, another rep, another page written, another brick laid in the foundation they will one day envy. You are not here to be noticed. You are here to be unignorable. So now the question becomes, can you be quiet enough, long enough to become loud in a way that cannot be silenced? Most people can't. They're addicted to noise, to showing, telling, sharing. They live on a drip feed of validation, unable to go a single day without applause. They mistake presence for progress. But you were born for more than performance. You weren't built for attention. You were built for impact. And impact doesn't announce itself. It arrives like a storm no one forecasted. Sudden, relentless, unstoppable. That's the power of silence. Silence lets you hear. Hear the whispers of your own soul. Hear the fears that need to be faced. Hear the strategies, the visions, the truths that can't compete with the shouting world. You will never master yourself in the middle of a crowd. You will never build a legacy if you're addicted to being seen. Because everything that makes you great happens alone. Think about Lincoln. The speeches that shook the world, they were forged in solitude, in candlelit rooms, far from the cheers. He studied, he wrote, he battled inner demons in silence, and when the moment came, he stood taller than nations. You want to know what real power feels like? It's when you walk into a room and people feel your presence. Not because you bragged, but because your work echoes louder than words. It's when you can look in the mirror and see a person you built, not for the cameras, but for war, for leadership, for purpose. It's when you rise at dawn and no one knows, but your results scream it from the mountaintops later. Because this world doesn't reward the loudest. It rewards the most disciplined. And discipline, true discipline, is forged in places no one sees. You want greatness? Then go where others won't. Do what they're too scared to do. Endure what they run from. Because success is not won in one moment. It's earned in 1,000 silent choices. The choice to stay in when they go out. The choice to keep grinding when you've got nothing left. The choice to believe in yourself when everyone else stopped watching. And belief, that's where we go next. Because if you're going to build in silence, you must believe louder than ever before. Not externally, not on a stage, but inside. Deep, fiery, unshakable belief. You must know who you are before they do. You must see the outcome before it manifests. You must feel like a giant while you're still crawling. Do you think Walt Disney was clapped for when he drew talking mice on napkins? No. He was laughed at, mocked, dismissed. But he had a vision that burned so hot inside, he didn't need applause. He didn't need permission. He just kept building, kept drawing, kept going, until one day the world walked into his imagination and realized it was real. That's what belief does. It bridges the gap between today and your empire. But it only works if it's yours, not borrowed, not begged for, not bought through likes or claps. You must believe quietly, because belief isn't for show. It's a fire you protect, not a torch you wave. And here's the harsh truth. Every time you tell someone your dream, and they doubt it, a little piece of that fire flickers. Every time you seek approval before acting, you weaken your instinct. Every time you announce before executing, you shift energy from creation to performance. But when you hold it close, when you feed that flame in secret, when you rise in the dark and stack victory after silent victory, you become dangerous. You become undeniable, unstoppable, unshakable. And the moment you emerge, when your dream is real and your hands are covered in the evidence of work, they will ask, "Where did this come from?" And you'll smile. Because they never saw the nights, the silence, the loneliness, the tears, the 1,000 times you could have quit but didn't. Because you understood, the strongest trees grow in silence, the deepest roots form in darkness, and the greatest empires rise without permission. This is your time now. Not to talk, not to show, but to build. You build when no one is watching. You build because you must, not because you want to be seen. You build because the fire inside you won't let you rest. Because you understand that greatness is not a moment. It's a process. A process sculpted by quiet mornings, late nights, and every choice in between. Discipline isn't a word for the weak. It's the backbone of kings and queens who conquer invisible battles. Henry Ford didn't revolutionize the automobile industry by posting his plans online. He built his legacy in sweat and steel, far from the noise of doubters and distractions. Discipline is the silent architect of destiny. It's the voice inside you saying, "Keep going," when your body screams, "Stop." It's the hand that pulls you up when failure wants to keep you down. It's the fortress that protects your dreams from the storm of opinions and excuses. And here's the secret about discipline. It creates freedom. Not the freedom to laze or coast, but the freedom to own your life. To walk with your head high, knowing you did the work. Knowing you sacrificed comfort for greatness. Because comfort kills. Comfort is the silent assassin of dreams. It lulls you into mediocrity and whispers, "This is enough." But you're not here to settle. You're here to break barriers, to shatter ceilings, to rewrite the story of what's possible. Your vision must be sharper than a sword. Clearer than a mountain stream. You must see the future you're building with such precision that no obstacle can cloud your path. Clarity is your compass. Andrew Carnegie knew this. He climbed from poverty to the heights of wealth because he saw exactly where he wanted to go. And every step he took was with a single question. Does this move me closer? You must ask the same. Every action must be measured against your vision. Every choice a deliberate brick in your fortress. Without clarity, your energy dissipates like smoke in the wind. But with clarity, your fire burns hotter, longer, and brighter. Purpose fuels the engine of success. It's not just a goal on a checklist. It's the why that carries you through the darkest nights and the hardest battles. Without purpose, the grind feels endless. With purpose, every sacrifice becomes a step closer to destiny. Purpose is your anchor. It holds you steady when storms rage. It whispers strength when doubt screams. It's the difference between a fleeting passion and a lifelong mission. But purpose alone won't carry you. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb by wishing. He experimented, failed, adapted, and kept moving forward, 10,000 times over. Action is relentless. Action is imperfect. Action is unstoppable. You must do even when you're afraid. You must move even when you don't feel ready. Because perfect conditions are a myth. Waiting is the enemy of greatness. Gratitude transforms the journey. It's easy to forget how far you've come when you're focused only on what's next. But gratitude grounds you. It reminds you that every challenge is a lesson, every setback a setup for a comeback. When you cultivate gratitude, you create resilience. You turn pain into power. You find strength in struggle. Resilience is your armor. It's what keeps you standing when the world tries to knock you down. It's the grit of Lincoln after countless defeats. The spirit of Roosevelt when illness tried to steal his will. Resilience says, I will rise, again and again. And finally, adaptability is your greatest weapon. The world shifts and changes. The path to success is never straight. You must bend without breaking, learn without stopping, evolve without losing yourself. This is the silent war of success. The fight no one sees. The battle fought in shadows and solitude, but it's the only way. Success is built in silence, not announced in noise. Success is not a grand announcement broadcast to the world in flashing lights and thunderous applause. It is the quiet commitment made in the stillness of dawn when the world sleeps and only you remain awake with purpose burning bright. It is the unseen sweat, the whispered promises to yourself, the relentless grind that never seeks validation or applause. Look to the greats, the titans whose names echo through history, not for their moments of fame, but for their years of silence, their decades of unseen work. Abraham Lincoln wrestled with failure, rejection, and heartbreak in solitude before becoming the voice of a nation. Walt Disney faced bankruptcy, disbelief, and relentless rejection before creating worlds that inspire millions. These legends didn't rush to tell the world their dreams. They built their empires brick by brick, day after day, in silence. Because noise is the enemy of progress. Noise distracts. Noise divides. Noise weakens. And today, in this era of constant connection and endless sharing, the temptation to broadcast before building has never been greater. The modern world demands instant recognition, likes, followers, an endless echo chamber that seduces us into valuing applause over achievement. But real success doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't need validation. It simply is. It is earned in the quiet moments no one sees. It is forged in the furnace of patience and perseverance. It grows when you refuse to be distracted by the superficial noise of opinions, trends, and fleeting fame. This is your call to silence the noise, silence your doubts, silence the voices telling you to wait, to hesitate, to conform. Silence the urge to broadcast your plans before they're ready. Silence the need for approval. Instead, cultivate the inner world where true power lives. Build your skills, sharpen your mind, strengthen your will. Act with intention and discipline. Let your work speak louder than your words ever could. Because when your foundation is strong, when your purpose is clear, your discipline unwavering, and your action relentless, noise becomes irrelevant. The world will notice not because you shouted, but because you delivered. Not because you talked, but because you transformed. Not because you announced your success, but because success quietly claimed you. So move forward in silence. Build your empire behind closed doors. Carry your vision like a secret flame. Let the sound of your work drown out the clamor of the crowd. This is the path of the true achiever, the one who knows that greatness is a slow-burning fire, not a fleeting spark. The one who understands that success is built, not broadcast. Remember this truth always. The loudest in the room rarely have the most to show, but the quietest, Those who build in silence change the world. You are not here to join the noise. You are here to rise above it, to create in silence, to conquer without announcing, to succeed because you will, not because you say. Your legacy begins in silence. Your greatness is born in quiet. Your victory will echo long after the noise fades. And that is the power of success built in silence.